There is a specific wrestle that arrives the moment someone serious decides to build a real audience. They know the tactics, they are willing to do all of them, and they still cannot tell whether what they are building is trust or just a louder version of their own name in everyone else's feed. Here is what most people do when they decide to build trust at scale. They stack the daily practice, post every day, 10 meaningful comments, 20 new connections, one big swing per week. Volume becomes the strategy, consistency becomes the proof, and the bet is that if you do enough of this long enough, the math eventually shifts in your favor. Here is why it does not work. The assumption underneath the stack is that trust is something you accumulate, that enough visible output repeated long enough adds up. But trust does not accumulate, it registers. A reader either feels the person on the other side of the post is actually there, or they feel the shape of someone trying to be seen, and they decide in under a second, long before they read the second sentence, long before the call to action lands. The discrimination has already happened. Here is what is actually happening underneath. There are two signals a reader picks up in that first second without having language for either: the performing signal and the not performing signal. The performing signal is unmistakable once you can name it. Copy that hits every beat of a known template. Lines engineered to be quotable, conclusions that arrive too cleanly, and the giveaway nobody names. The absence of anything that was actually figured out in front of you. Nothing left rough, nothing the writer is still inside. The not performing signal is also unmistakable. Specificity that could only come from this person. The inclusion of the thing that did not work. The absence of the closing flourish. A reader state the writer did not flatter. A sentence that lands without checking whether it was supposed to. Once you see this, the question changes. It stops being, am I doing enough? It becomes, is this actually me? Those are not the same question. The first one is answered by the dashboard. The second one is answered by reading what you just wrote and asking whether a stranger would feel a person there or a shape. The mantra most people are running on, show up, ship, get ignored, repeat, is correct about the shipping and wrong about the metric. The thing being measured is not whether you got ignored. It is whether what you shipped was recognizably you or recognizably the template. Because one of those compounds, the other one just gets louder. AI is making everything louder. Volume is not scarce anymore. What is scarce is the signal that a real person is behind the output. Volume without presence produces a louder version of someone who is not there. Presence without volume produces someone people seek out, slower than the dashboard wants, but the only kind of growth that does not require maintenance.